form, taking on the Cavaliers, where Kyrie won a championship. You go right to overtime. Cleveland, competitive, but looks like they're in tough shape. They're down 3. They need a 3. And Sexton gets it to the side of Irving, who was on his right side, but you're so afraid to foul there. He ties the game. Durant could have won. It looked like that brushed the backboard and misses. So we go to double overtime, and it was all Sexton in the double overtime. Kid had a monster game. 16 of 29 from the floor. 5 of 11 from 3. He had 42 points in 38 minutes. The big 3 go down. Malika Andrews reports.
John, this isn't the end result that the Brooklyn Nets wanted. Steve Nash said after the game that at times the group looked, quote, a little lost, but he said that that was natural because this is the first time that they have played together. So there's a lot of material for them to go over in film sessions tomorrow. But Kyrie Irving seemed genuinely happy to finally be back on the floor with his teammates.
And always playing the game that I love, I'm grateful. So I never take it for granted. And then also to be, playing with Kevin Durant, James Harden, just those names alone right now, just like we're having some fun, but it's not just about us. And I always say that, we'll have good nights, we'll have great nights, but it's how we galvanize this group together and how we sacrifice and compromise for the greater good, and that still remains to be seen. Obviously, one game's out the way, but I'm excited for what's to come.
Now, the Nets still have pieces to fold in here. Kyrie Irving played a career-high 48 minutes and 22 seconds, while Kevin Durant and James Harden both played over 50 minutes, while Landry Shamet, who was brought in to be a key piece of this Nets bench, didn't play at all. But overall, Kevin Durant said it felt right to finally be out there with the 2 other All-Stars. It felt perfect, he said. It felt like, quote, we belonged out there together.
Tim Legler with us on SportsCenter for a level-headed look at the KD, Kyrie, Harden triumvirate. We're not going to get all panicky because they were not triumphant here, Tim, but we got 2 parts. So let's start with where are the trouble spots, or kind of what caused the trouble when these 3 were on the floor?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, John, I think there's just such a reliance on individual shot making that it's a tough way to win on a night-to-night basis, despite the fact that this might be the greatest offensive trio we've ever seen put together. It's still a tough way to go about your business night to night. So when push came to shove in this, if you broke down their offense, you're going to see a whole lot of that. Guys taking turns. And I thought that that's a mistake, because if you just incorporate any sort of ball movement where the ball can change sides of the floor, and a couple of those guys get opportunities, and once the defense is shifted, I just think it's going to be much easier to operate, and you're going to get more efficient shots. These guys are great enough that they can get back in the game the way they did in the fourth quarter by making shots. But I think they can make it easier on themselves if they can get that ball movement a little bit better, player movement a little bit better. And also, I think Kevin Durant is a guy that in those spots late, when it's a one-possession situation, he has to be involved somehow in the offense. And you saw that he wasn't there at the end of regulation when Harden took that step-back 3, and Kevin Durant's just standing there on the wing. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me when you talk about a guy with the stature of Kevin Durant.
All right, so yeah, those they combined for 96 points. That seems like plenty. What is it that you like, and what is it that works with these 3 cats?
Well, one of the things that obviously works is, first, there's no team in the league that can guarantee at all times you've got one of the best offensive players on the floor for the entire game. So let's just start with that. They always have an elite guy, at least one, most of the time 2 of those guys out there that you can just create all kinds of problems for defensively. And there were times in this one when you could just see the presence of that second or third superstar, how easy it made the game for guys to get to the rim, for guys to come up and get some early offense for themselves, because there's so much attention that's going to be paid to other parts of the floor. So there are opportunities that they're going to get to take advantage of defenses that are going to be a little more porous than what they saw individually when they were star players on teams, and you could load up on those guys. Much harder to load up when you have that kind of talent on the floor. So I did see some situations like that where the mere presence of those guys helped facilitate individual opportunities.
Real quick, can they guard well enough with those 3 guys?
No, they're not a very good defensive team. They weren't initially. I don't think their defensive principles are really there yet. And it was really a problem tonight. When DeAndre Jordan's off the floor, this team is so small. They get pounded in the paint. They get pounded on the offensive glass. They gave up 64 points in the paint to this team, and they're not even at full strength. So that is going to be a major problem, John. I don't see this team grinding out wins on nights when their guys don't make shots. Look at tonight, 96 between the three of them, a triple-double for James Harden, and they still lost the game. So they've got to tighten up that end of the floor, take it a little bit more seriously, put themselves in better positions where they don't have to be spectacular down the stretch. That's absolutely the point of emphasis with this team, is to get better defensively and be more accountable to each other.
And we should point out, actually, the Cavaliers played a really nice game as well. Tim Legler, thanks. They get a mulligan. Same two again in Cleveland Friday night.
Hawks beat the Pistons in Detroit 3 weeks ago to go to 3-0. They're 3-7 since. They're a lottery team. Atlanta right now, they're a playoff bubble squad early on. However, they're down. Trae Young puts the Hawks down by 7. Then that's an easy 2 to Collins. He was 31 and 11. Minute left. Blake blocking. Whoa, that's a beautiful reverse move. Pistons up by 5 with a minute to go. Griffin had 17 points. Just a shell of a player he used to be. Hawks down by 2 now. Under 15 to go. Young. But he does so well. Scans the floor, attacks, creates, and gives a bunny to Capella. So good. Capella, 27 points and 26 rebounds in this game. 106. Oh! For the win, but what a block by Collins. Watch this. From behind, Young really can provide no resistance with his size down low. He tried to get the charge, didn't have, but luckily Collins stayed with it and sent the game to overtime. We mentioned Capella with a monster game. 27 points, 26 rebounds. Holy shnikes. See, the last 35 seasons, some pretty big names there he joins on that list. Trae Young puts him up by 6. Nails that 3. He was 3 of 5 shooting threes. He had 38 points in 44 minutes. Hawks are 7-7. They're in the top 8 in the East.
You and Aaron Rodgers have been doing this for a long time.
You guys got a good team.
Yeah, you too. See, baby.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great things to say about his game.
What Tom does is he's always trying to work on something new.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay! Okay, just like that!
Throwing motion, the velocity on the ball, he makes it look so easy.
And he's gone! The Packers with a dagger!
He's done just about everything. Kind of always been ahead of the field.
Got a receiver open, will score a touchdown! He's got it! End zone touchdown!
January football is going to be a great game.
It's hard to really put into words and feel the energy.
Anthony Chang. Hey Kendrick, these past 2 games, I mean, what has felt different for you out there, or is it more just getting minutes? I know you can't control that, but just getting minutes and getting in the flow out there.
Yeah, most definitely. It's the minutes. It's the minutes for me. Just getting in the game and getting the flow of the game. And then after that, I just be myself, get to the flow of the game, get into the rhythm, and make winning plays.
Up next, we have Ira Winderman.
Kendrick, I know even when you guys don't get to play, you're constantly working on